So far, this channel has been okay, although I want it to be better. You know, I will be most weeks going out on location, but this week I'll just be editing an image from 4 years ago. The image, of course, is well underexposed when I took it. It was very dark at the time, so to prove a point that a bad composed image can be saved. So stick around and watch me try to bring this image to life. Good evening, guys, and thanks again for tuning in to Paul Cunningham Wheeling Photography. Really appreciate you guys subscribing. I've had a few subscribers recently, so thank you. So I am not out in the field today, although what I'm doing is I'm going to do some post-processing, and the image I'm going to do is this one. That's it finished, of course, but I'm going to show you how I got from this to this. This is one of the mornings I was rushing about, and when you're rushing about, you're not grounded, you're not really looking at the image. The point is, we make mistakes, and what I'm trying to do is show you my mistake, what I made back then, about a couple of years back, and I'm going to show you how I rectify that mistake in post. So even though you've taken an image, it may be underexposed, there's ways you can rescue that, and of course we can always add to it as well. So let's, without further ado, let's have a look, see how it fares. This is the image that you can see it's well overexposed, and you know, it's any other image. Normally people would just get rid of that, but there is a lot of promise in it. First of all, the composition I liked. I've got the three trees there, and it's this way they're positioned really. They kind of like they're stretching out and meeting at the same place. So I think I called this secret meeting place or something along the lines of that. So the straight away the image looking at it is dark, and it's like a vignetting all the way around the frame of the image. Looking at the frame of the image, it's got potential. Nothing really. I mean, up here there's this branch here, which is not really too much a problem, but yeah, you could say that's the only thing that's distracting, because this branch has come up here, which is fine, and it's meeting the other tree here. That's okay, and this tree is meeting this tree, the branches in the middle. So all of these trees are all connected in some way, and it brings them to a secret meeting place, you could say. But this branch is going this way. I'm happy with that, in case it's not too distracting. But as we edit the image, we'll see if it comes out more prominent, and if it does, we may have to get rid of that distraction. So the first thing we do, we patrol the frame of the image, and as you see there's nothing really coming into it. What I'm going to do is just go into the sliders here, and first of all, just really going through the universal sliders, which exposure, contrast, highlights, etc. Try to do not much, too much with it, and if I do need to go into Photoshop, we'll see how we get on. So first and foremost, we're going to go to the exposure, and as the exposure goes up there, you see that straight away it brings the image back to life, and what's lacking is highlights. So I'm just going to add a little bit of highlights there to it there. Just bring the that's there. Get some whites to it, and just flatten the shadows a little bit there. Now you see the image is very green, so I will be going to the sliders at the moment to, you know, for the colours, saturation, hue and luminance. I will be adjusting these for this as well. Now the sliders here, regards to texture and everything, I'm okay not to touch that. What I'm going to do though is give it a bit of smoothness to the image. So I'm going to go for the clarity and just drop that right down there, and it just makes it nice and soft there. Now about now, I'll probably I would probably go over the focal points I want to show, and that's obviously these three trees. But I think the two trees which are standing there, left and right, this tree you can't see too much, but it does add to the picture. It's not taken away from it. But these three trees bring the eye and focus you in the centre, and it takes you to the top here. And this branch here keeps your eyes from going out the frame. It just brings you back down again. So I'm just going to go up to the mask tool, and that's, when I say mask tool, that's Lightroom's mask tool, of course. Instead of going through all these, subject, sky, background, etc., I'm going to hit brush, and just gonna get a bit of texture into these trees there. I think it's not there. It'll be thing, and then bring the detail back only for these trees. As you see there, I'm just going to go over some nice bit of just paint over the texture, nice and easy over the trees. And I'll go over these the leaves in the foreground, these bits there maybe as well. Because what you want to do is you want to have everything in the foreground or to the near frame sharp or sharpish, or maybe just a little bit of texture to it at least, and everything else dropping back in the background here. So we're going to go for this one. So we're going to go for this tree here. So we'll just go over this tree here, and I like the bit at the bottom here of this tree, this part here, and just like to just brush over that, just get some texture coming out there, and just going up there, and also just trying to catch some of these leaves there. Yeah, maybe just the top here as well, to stop the eye coming out. Just kind of nice and a bit more kind of texture at the top there. And just go over as many times, and just go over back and forth. So I'm mainly just trying to bring the texture out in the trees. So we want to give it a bit more separation from the background. So what we do is we're going to add a bit of texture to the trees in the foreground. So we want to just give a bit of separation to the background, and even the background's nice and smooth because I've dropped the clarity slider a little bit. At the same time, I want to make separation with bringing the trees in the foreground a bit more texture to them, just to give that kind of separation and to give the photograph depth. And that's what it does, it gives you depth to the photograph. So I'm just going to go over this here and still go over these leaves. So now we're going to focus on the colours and the tones. So we're just kind of going to the colours now, and of course you've got your hue, saturation and luminance. And if you've been using Lightroom for a long time, you're no stranger to this, but if you're new to Lightroom, yeah, and this is pretty much where you'll be adjusting your colour sliders. So yeah, straight away, I mean, the hue part I'm not too fussed about at the moment. Actually, I'll probably won't touch the hue part. We're going to go into the saturation and just get the greens. Just bring the greens down, and just noticing how when you're doing that is keep on watching the screen and just making sure you're not doing it too much, but you just get enough just to drop the greens a little bit, and that's about fine. And then I'm looking at the luminous. Now, luminous itself, you've got to be very careful, because if it's a very dark picture like this, and if I started doing this, putting it down a bit more, it's going to give it, it's going to make it look really, really dark. In this case, we're going to leave it. We're going to maybe try to, get a bit more luminous maybe. So just putting up a little bit there, just get the lights onto it. So I kind of done this. Now you've also got your midtones, your shadows and highlights here, dual color grading, etc. So in this case, I'm just going to have nice cool shadows. So I'm just going to bring, not aqua, but just kind of, just about there. Just keeping it as the way we're looking at here. And highlights, yeah, probably just maybe trying to just give it a little bit more bite with the cool and green there. That'll do me. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Mid-tones, that's fine. I'm not touching that there. So, yeah, I mean, you do get a denoise tool, which is quite a good feature on Lightroom. It reduces noise with kind of AI technology, but it kind of saves as a DNG file. So, got a good, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I always also go to my lens corrections and just going to remove chromatic aberration. It's anything it comes up like, just here sometimes you get lines there, like a hue, and all that does, it reduces as much as possible. In this case, there's nothing really coming up on this image that's really worrying me just now. It's fine really. And then I'll enable profile corrections. You can see the lens I used, it was a 70 to 200 Nikkor, and of course the profile I'm using is Adobe. So the mist is kind of subdued a little bit of the detail in there, and it's important that you make a decision to keep that or trying to highlight it a bit more, or in this case I'm going to keep that. What I'm going to do instead is just going to go back to the universal tools, and I'm just going to drop the blacks a little bit and bring up the whites again. So if I get the whites up there, so come on, there we go. So I just bring that there. Now what I'm looking to do is bring the highlights down a bit there as well. And it's kind of just, when I'm editing, I don't know about you, some people have got their own way of doing things, and it's probably more effective than mine. But when I edit images, I tend to just, as I go on, there's no secret to it. It's a feeling of the image, what it gives you. So you're going back, step back and forth, and you're adjusting things. I mean, I'm looking at the histogram in the right hand side. There's lots of clip in there because of this. But this is where the eye is going to come to. It's going to sit here. This is one before we've done. And this is one we've edited. So you see there, it's much better. There's more detail into the actual trees itself. So looking at the image there, you can see there's a lot of detail. I'll just kind of go into that there. You can see that there's more detail there in regards to this part of the picture. And as I go to the one I already edited, click that to there, it's lost a little bit of detail. So that needs to change from that. So what I need to do there is get a little brush. I've seen a little brush, but there's only one brush. So get a brush tool. And in the brush tool, we want to get the highlights down quite a lot. So almost at the bottom there. Go over this part of the image, and you see it's bringing back the detail that I lost before. So always remember that when you're checking your images before and after, check before, because you remember when you actually took that picture, you exposed it as much as you could get the highlights. And of course I was exposing for the highlights. It was underexposed. What I didn't really do is stack, which I should have done. I should have taken two images, one for mainly one for the highlights or the detail, and one for the light. So yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go over that just now, and you can just bring these highlights in there, and it helps the picture. So yeah, that is that. Now, there's a couple of things that it bothers me about this picture, and as I said, this branch here, I'm not too happy about. But it's not so much as that. It's this part of part tree, or it's part maybe of a branch of another tree. See here? Just put there. You see it there? That there. So I'm just going to crop the image a little bit there. Make sure the padlock's unlocked, and just bring that there, like there. And I could possibly bring this up a little bit more, just to bring it back into the frame there. This is fine here. I'm just going to leave that, hit enter, and we can't see that tree anymore, so that's away. So that distraction there, this is fine. So that's the image I like. So guys, thanks again for watching this evening, and I really appreciate the newcomers to the channel and the people who have commented. And just like them, if you can add a comment about the video, I'd like to hear, you just mainly hear anything you want to say. Just say hi, yeah? You know, just say hello, or even just say, you know, good image, or just say absolutely, you know, that image was absolutely completely crack. You know, get something else up there, Paul. Get a good bloody video out there to show us. You know, just make a comment, because your comments helps me grow, it helps the channel grow, and it helps me get better content for you, which I'm aiming to do. So if you're local in Edinburgh, guys, get in contact. I do workshops in Edinburgh, and if you're interested, you know, leave a comment below, or even just send an email to me, which I'll just put my email address down below this video, and let me know when your availability, and I'll let you know if I've got that time to give you. I also have a sister channel to this channel called Clickcast Discussion, and as the title says, it's discussion amongst photographers, and I'm kind of joined by two people who run the channel with me, called Gladys Yelland and Stephen Thornton. We've just started this channel up. It's still in its infancy. We're getting people to come on the channel to talk about their experiences as a photographer. Please be sure to, you know, subscribe if you're interested in that type of thing, with photographers just talking, with other photographers, of course. So have a look. So Clickcast Discussion, YouTube. Hit subscribe. Give us a like. Leave a comment and say hello to the guys. And if you're interested, if you're a photographer, we might want to hear your story and get in touch with you. Right guys, thanks anyway. Thanks again guys for your time. Anyway guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. Just got one thing to say is, cheery bye.